And we start with the district level elections, which has just ended inconclusively in some electoral areas in the East Mamprusi municipality of the Northeast region. The elections was announced in the Langbasi area after unidentified individuals snatched and destroyed 2 ballot boxes. The unidentified individuals also launched violent attacks on some of the voters, leading to the injury of 3 persons, as we're learning, in Boku electoral area. Fighting broke out between supporters of the aspirants. 1 person was injured and hospitalized this morning. 3 aspirants within the areas affected have massed up at the office of the Electoral Commission, demanding some fresh elections to take place in the area. Ilyasu Tanko is our man on the grounds, joining us now with more on this. Ilyasu, let's get to the details of what's happening in the area. What can you report? Ilyasu?
Well, like you said, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, so, like you said, in the Langbasi electoral area, we understand yesterday the election ended inconclusively. This morning, we have aspirants from that particular electoral area currently at the EC office in the East Mamprusi municipality, making some demands, including the rerun of this particular election. According to this disgruntled contestants, that during the voting, some individuals invaded the police station and took control or took away 2 ballot boxes. 1 was completely destroyed, and the ballots inside were torn. One of the ballot boxes was also taken to an unknown location. We understand the police was able to intervene and retrieve these 2 ballot boxes. Now the contestants are rejecting the quality of this particular ballot boxes, so they are demanding the rerun of this particular election in the Langbasi.
So in terms of the security arrangements now, what's happening, and has the EC made any pronouncements?
In the Boku electoral area, we understand that.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the current security situation now, and if there's any pronouncements by the Electoral Commission now on what might happen in terms of the calls for a rerun of that exercise. We seem to have a challenge connecting with Ilyasu there, but some areas within the Mamprusi municipality experiencing challenges in terms of the district level elections, violence erupting in some parts of that community as well, raising concerns, and lots of people, we understand, have massed up at the EC outlets there, asking for a rerun of the election. As to why that's the case, of course, Ilyas will bring us up to speed. We'll reconnect with him shortly just to get a bit more of the answers, and then try as much as possible to get through to the EC as well for some explanation on what's happening. We'll get all of that and more for you shortly. Please stay with us. And of course, for those of you who are wondering what's happening in the area, we do know that this is a twin situation happening up north. The reason for which we're still learning of the fine details that are just coming through to us. Ilyasu Tanko there giving us a bit of an update. We'll reconnect with him shortly and bring you some updates. Please stay.
Still on monitoring the electoral processes in this year's district-level election, we've moved from Ghana Central to Ghana North, where we're catching up with Dr. John Halm, who is the parliamentary candidate-elect on the NDC ticket for this constituency. Honorable, thank you for joining us for a brief conversation.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to know, in your perspective, what have you observed so far, and what do you think about the electoral processes since morning?
Well, it's very good. So far, so good. A few places that I visited this morning, the exercise is going on smoothly. 1 or 2 things has been observed. That is, the turnouts at certain places are quite a bit low. But coming to Pokwasi electoral area, I realize the turnout is much appreciable.
We know that the NDC is not particularly excited about the not using the indelible ink as we've done for years now. And what do you think? Because some of the officials have told us that they've not had any problems yet with the software. What do you think, or what have you observed, in your opinion, the processes without the indelible ink?
Well, it's not the traditional thing we know of our election processes in Ghana. So it's got a new thing, which I think is not the best for us. What about, I think it's a recipe for any disaster.
Let's go more on the telephone lines now and, of course, get some updates from the Electoral Commission as they are now about to provide us with some updates on their general assessment of the district-level elections. Dr. Sribo Kweku is Director General of the Director of Electoral Services, I should say, of the Electoral Commission, joining us now. Thank you, sir, for your time. Your own assessment of what's happening so far, reports of violence in some parts of the north. What's the national picture in terms of the reports the EC can render? We'll just reconnect with Dr. Sribo Kweku shortly. But, Doc, of course, we'll be getting more details for you. But joining us now is the Deputy Commissioner of the EC, Dr. Bosman Asare, who's on with us. Thank you, Doc, for spending some time with us. Apologies there, I thought it was Dr. Sribo Kweku. The question about, your assessment of the exercise so far, reports we're hearing from up north and all of that. What's your own, assessment based on the exercise so far?
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, sir.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers. In terms of our assessment concerning what transpired yesterday, all the various regions had a very smooth exercise. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have it in all the districts in the eastern region and some few electoral areas in the Ashanti region. But the reports that came to us last night and this morning are clear indications that the processes were conducted in a very, very professional manner. In some places, the turnout happened to be very high. In some places too, especially in Greater Accra, it was low. We are just waiting for tomorrow to finish the remaining voting in the electoral areas in the Ashanti region as well as the eastern region, so that we'll be able to come up with the main findings from this exercise. But if what transpired yesterday was anything to go by, everything generally went on very, very well.
The domestic election observers already raising concerns about the process so far. They say that you've, of course, not delivered what is expected to have been a smooth district-level elections. Of course, the national coordinator for the group, Eugene Ahin, Albert Ahin, raising a number of concerns about even the printing of the ballot. So what's the factor accounting for the problems we've witnessed in terms of the issuance of the ballot papers?
I think we've heard several people trying to criticize what transpired yesterday. Running elections, especially at the district level elections, is so different. It's more complex. The features are so different from that of the presidential and the parliamentary. With this election, what happens is that you are doing the elections in each electoral area. So you take a place, a particular district, for example, you can have different elections in about 33 areas for the unit committee as well as another 33 for the assembly. So this is a very, very different one. The commission was strongly of the view that everything must be held on the 19th, but we had some last-minute technical challenges. As a result of that, the ballot papers delayed in some of these areas. So you look at, of the 16 regions, we're able to send the ballot papers to all the districts, all the electoral areas in 14 of them. In Ashanti region, where we have almost 1,087 electoral areas, we're able to have ballot papers for both the unit and the assembly in almost about 806 of the electoral areas. In the eastern region, although we were able to get the ballot papers for almost 20 of the regions, in some of the regions, we had some delays. So the thinking of the commission was that in order to have a level playing field, why don't we postpone it to Thursday? So that's why the rest of the districts are going to have the elections on Thursday.
So is it your assessment that what transpired leading to the subsequent announcement from the EC that you'd have to defer the process has nothing to do with the issuance of the ballot papers?
You said it has nothing to do with what?
With the issuance of the ballot papers, I'm asking.
No, the ballot, as I indicated, in some of the places, the ballot papers delayed. Some of the places, the ballot papers were there around 9:30 a.m. And the thinking of the commission was that once we've announced that the process will begin at 7 a.m., it will be appropriate to give them another opportunity so that all of them will be able to start at 7 a.m. And we noticed that those places too were several. For example, in the Eastern region, we're looking at almost about 16 or so districts. In Ashanti region, we're looking at over 200 electoral areas. And just again to clarify, the commission is fully prepared that by tomorrow, all of them are going to have their elections.
You don't see, a late an arrangement with the private, company that's printing this as the problem, because Codeo appears to be citing that as part of the challenge, indicating that you contracted these organizations very late in the day, a reason for which we experienced what we experienced.
I'm not getting the question well.
I'm saying that Codeo argues that you contracted the private company that printed this or the ballot papers late in the day, a reason for which we cited what happened, leading to the deferment of the process to tomorrow. I'm asking if that's not part of the challenge we have. Hello, sir. And Dr. Osman Asari is the Deputy Commissioner of the Electoral Commission, speaking to us on the exercise we're expecting tomorrow. We'll reconnect with him shortly to get some clarity on that, concerns about the ballots and also what's likely to happen tomorrow. We'll see if we'll have him join us back again. But up north, we are already learning of reports of violence, as Ilyasu Tanko, our reporter there, pointing out, and of course citing some issues that might have been leading to this. Dr. Bosman Asari, if you can hear me, apologies for that. I was just pointing once more to what it is that Codeo appears to cite as a problem, the issue about the contractual arrangements between those who are printing the ballot papers. The claim is that you contracted them late in the day, a reason for which we're seeing what we're seeing.
Know how or where could you got that particular information? But to be frank with you, as I indicated, they've been working with us. They know our timelines, and we also know our timelines when we have to give to them for the time for them to also print. And I pointed out we had some technical challenges. Certain technical challenges are such that once they come up, it will be very, very difficult to overcome. And as an institution, when these things happen, we do learn from it a lot. We don't think it's so fatal because, as I indicated, these are elections that are held at various electoral areas, and you are talking of almost about 12,400 different elections, and the commission has been able to do them in almost 12,000 of them. We have a few more to go. It's unfortunate that we couldn't deliver everything yesterday, but again, we want to assure each and everyone that come tomorrow, all the outstanding districts in the Eastern region and the 200 or so electoral areas in the Ashanti region, they are going to be having their voting tomorrow.
In what ways have you addressed the technical challenge to give the assurance to those who might have to queue up again and to be sure that tomorrow when they show up at the polling stations, there won't be a challenge again?
No, we've addressed them. It's not in my position to say what we've actually done. And I know for the electorate, what they are looking forward to is to have their ballot papers at their various polling stations, and we've been able to do that. So as I indicated again, come tomorrow, once they visit their polling stations, they are going to have their ballots. They will be able to vote from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Some of the political parties already raising concerns about the process. Some NDC MPs pointing out that this is simply a foreshadow of what's likely to happen in the next elections. The fact that you're not prepared to organize the national elections, given what's happening at the district level. Anything to go by?
Oh, I think anyone who believes in that or comes to that particular conclusion doesn't appreciate or doesn't understand the differences between the district level elections and the parliamentary.
well, the beauty of technology there. We're trying to re-establish the connection with Dr. Bosman Asare, who's providing some updates on what to expect tomorrow. There's also the question as to which areas or perhaps which regions will now be participating in the exercise. We know that parts of the Eastern and Ashanti region. We'll see if we can map out the areas so you're clear on what's happening tomorrow for those of you in the Ashanti and parts of the Eastern region. We'll get all of those details for you shortly, but we're just getting that assurance coming through from the Electoral Commission that the exercise will continue tomorrow. And we've lost Dr. Bosman Asare. You're watching A Pulse with me, Blessed. We'll be right back.